Hi, I'm Shelby from Segrest Farms. I'm on the national sales team. I'd like to talk a little bit about the bettas that we have in stock for you. These guys are native to Asia, usually in rice paddy flats or low, shallow streams. The water gets pretty warm over there, so they don't like temperatures much below 76 degrees. They're better kept in about 80 to 82. So I pulled some fish from our stock this morning. I pulled a couple of these little ladies right here. They are pretty young. I love these guys. This is a Crowntail female right here. She's absolutely stunning. This is a fantastic fish to get inspired by. You can actually keep them in sorority tanks, usually about 20 gallons or more. They make a very, very rewarding pet. Lots of personality, tons of different colors you can get a hold of. This one's got some metallic in her. She's absolutely beautiful. This one is great too. So if you're looking for some breeding traits, look at your females, check out the scale patterns, look at the colors you want to pull out. Really, really fun, rewarding fish to do. So here we have some wild bettas. A lot of people don't get to see these because they're decently rare. And for the most part, not all that pretty. But they have some very unique traits. What I really like about them is they can be kept in pairs in a heavily planted tank and some very unique breeding behaviors. These are ferox. There's also the mouth brooder bettas, which you can keep, which actually breed very traditionally like the African cichlids. So this is kind of the start of what all the bettas we're going to show you next, where we pull the genetics from. So here we have two koi plaquettes. That's referring to their fins being short. They are males, and these are a domestic breeder here in Florida. This guy came in about 6 weeks ago. He's actually our secretary's fish, and she is absolutely in love with him. I cannot tell you how much personality this little fish has. The one to his left, over here, you can hardly see it. This is what we call an Armageddon. You can't see the yellow too much coming through. Red is usually a very dominant trait. So to have a red and a yellow scale pattern on the fish is a really, really fantastic thing to look for in breeding. All right, here we have an absolutely stunning male. These guys came in and I was blown away by how absolutely beautiful these are. You can see his personality. So there's scale patterns. That refers to the dragon scales and metallics. One is actually the outline of the scale, as one is actually the base color of the fish. So really, really stunning betta. So here you may recognize one of the most inspirational bettas of them all. This is the veil-tailed betta. So this one came from a lot of your original traits. Those wild bettas I was showing you, you can see some of those traits in this guy. Red is one of the most common colors because that was the most dominant trait. So bettas really became a big interest in the hobby. People started breeding them out for different traits, different colors, different fin shapes. Crowntail was kind of that next step. This is something that showed up a little bit over time. People thought it was a very, very unique trait. And now you can see crowntails are extremely popular. There you go. Now he's puffing out. So crowntails are just the extension of that fin. So you can see all the fin rays have been bred out to have that really, really absolutely stunning, looks like a crown. This is also a marble, so you can see he's got a couple different colors on him. Marbles can be blue and white and red, purple, white and red, many, many colors can make up a marble betta. Really, really, the options are endless. So this is definitely one of the most popular bettas out there, and you can absolutely see why. This is called the black orchid. The black trait is very difficult to work with. If you bleed a black to black, you often get a lethal gene. The babies won't survive. So black is often bred to a very, very dark blue betta, and this is what we come up with. From there we get coppers, different color strains. You can see all the wild spotting right here in his fins. Very, very pretty fish. So from the crown tails kind of went his twin tails. And when he perks up here, you can actually see his tail is split. And that's not anything that's been cut or been damaged. That's actually been bred into this animal to have a split tail. You can see a little bit more in the one to his right. I pulled this one because I absolutely love this. It's got the white trim on it. Last year for Valentine's Day, I went through and pulled all of them that were actually the butterfly trait, which had perfect hearts in their tails. So very unique betta. You can see their top fin is much, much wider, the base of it. And that's one of the more desired traits. You can see how wide that top fin, so it looks when the betta fluffs his fins out, it's a complete circle. So the more the circle is full, the more even it is, the higher the desired the trait is. So this is one of the half moons I pulled. I selected him because he has something very unique about him. He's got a mask. And what that refers to is that the color of his face is actually the same color as his body. Most of the bettas you've seen before, the mask on their face is going to be a much, much darker color. So this has been a new trait that was more desired. If they get a monster mask is actually to have a white face or a totally different color than the body, but lighter color. He's also got some metallic traits to him. And he's kind of showing off to his neighbor there, but just a very, very pretty half moon masked betta. This is a platinum, so this was another trait that was bred out from the half moons. You can start to see him coming on over here. As he ages, he's going to turn a very, very brilliant white color. You can see that. Some platinum traits will also have cellophane, which means you can actually see right through their fins. So here he is coming over. You can kind of see this. So the mask, the metallic, the half moon, he's got it all. All right, what's unique about this guy, this is actually a rowscale. A rowscale is just an overbred half moon. Originally, the rowscale was not very desired, was actually culled out from the half moon group. Recently, the rose tail has become extremely popular. And what that's referring to, if you look at the back end of his tail, you can see it looks like little rosettes, where the rays have actually split off into more and more and more rays. So you can see as he spreads it out, there you go, now you can really see it. So when he ages, that's going to be an absolutely beautiful, beautiful tail. This is a copper rose tail half moon. So definitely a beautiful Betta. You can see he has a huge top fin on him. That full circle is really going to come about. He's a pretty young Betta, so he's got quite a bit of growing into. Something you should be aware of with the rose tails is that they're often known for fin biting. Their tail gets very, very large. What the rose tail is just an extension of that half moon. So he's bred out to have more and more fin rays. Their tail gets very, very heavy. Making sure you have a heavily planted tank, utilizing some almond leaves are going to help you best, keep this critter healthy. These are Indian almond leaves. If you're going to keep Bettas, this is a fantastic tool to have in your kit. Great medicinal purposes. They've got some antibacterial properties. They're not native to exactly where the Bettas are from, but where the Bettas are native to have a lot of leaf litter. You'll often find if you keep leaves or things in the tanks, the Bettas will go up and lay in them. It's kind of a little bit of a comfort. But also if you have a sick fish, this is a very, very good thing to use. They have some antibacterial properties, also some tannins. Tannins are going to be something that releases into the water, tints it just a little bit so the Betta feels a little bit more at home, because most of their water is going to have that little bit of a brown, natural look to it. Not cloudy, just a little bit brown. You can either shred them up, or you can actually just toss them right in your tank. Leave a Betta on my desk. He's got an 8-gallon tank. I've got a couple leaves in there. I often find him kind of hanging out right here in this little leaf hammock. They're going to last about 3 to 4 weeks, which is what you're looking for them to do. You want them to kind of break down the water and to release those antibacterial properties to help keep your Betta healthy. Another fantastic property about these leaves is there's lots of microorganisms that will grow on them. Infusorgias, different things. Those Bettas you'll see, they'll constantly be going over there and they're just going to be pecking at those leaves. That's what he's doing. He's finding all sorts of things to be able to eat in the natural environment. So last but not least, this is the Dumbo. So you can see his front fins there look like big Dumbo ears. Everybody loves this guy. He's awfully young. Wait until he grows into those front fins, the back fins, the half moon. He's got the whole 9 yards. Very, very cool critter. Fun is to get into breeding Bettas. There's some quirks, some tricks of the trade. Something you kind of want to plan ahead, be set up ahead of time, because when you have 300 babies and 100 males to separate out, you want to make sure you have the equipment to do it. How do you get these guys to get along long enough to have babies? A lot of people, what they'll do is introduce the female into a separate container, put her in the tank, in her container with the male. Let him get used to her, see how they're going to interact, see how they're going to behave. On a colored female, you'll actually see if she has bars, they're going to flip vertically. So you can see that she's ready to kind of go in there and see if she's going to accept that male. Having lots of litter in there, having lots of, grass, things that female can kind of get into, that if she's not really ready to accept that male, she's got places to go. You want to keep a real close eye on her. The male's going to kind of dance around. If he's not being very, very, obtrusive, he's not going there and nipping on her, that's normal behavior. He's going to show off. Fascinating to see. He'll often build a very, very large bubble nest and kind of encourage her over into the nest. You'll see her kind of go away and he'll swim her back right over there. So you'll get to see what happens with those guys. Over time, he's going to accept her into the nest. He's going to actually embrace her and squeeze the eggs out of her. She'll kind of float to the bottom. Now daddy's job, he picks up those eggs, sticks them back up at the nest. And I'll do this a couple times. It's only about a 24-hour window that this is really going to work, so it's something you want to really, really watch out for. What the female will also do is as those eggs are falling and she's laying there, she's going to scarf up some of those eggs that have fallen. Naturally, what he's going to do after they are done breeding, he's going to scoot her out. So you want to make sure you get her back out of that tank, because if he sees her, he's going to instinctually protect his babies, and he's going to kill her if you don't watch out for it. So make sure you remove the female. Now it's daddy's job to take care of those eggs. It takes about 48 to 72 hours for those eggs to hatch, and it's very, very interesting to watch. They'll sit up in the nest, and they'll stare at it, look at it. If an egg's falling out, you'll see him zip right down there, pick it up, pluck it back up in the nest. He's a very, very good dad. After that, though, once they start to hatch, you do want to remove him, because he will also, in turn, eat the young. So remove dad, watch those eggs hatch. They really, very, very small things. Great thing to have those almond leaves in there for. Cyclops leaves, those guys are going to be ready and, very hungry when they start to hatch out. You can start them in a 20-gallon tank, put some sponge filters in there, let those babies get up. As you start to see the males, you are going to want to separate them, because they will start to fight. They can start to reproduce at a pretty young age. 4 to 6 months in, these guys are going to start looking for other ladies. So separate your males out. Make sure you've got enough tanks for them. If you're doing some sorority tanks, start your 20-gallon tanks. Or if you're like me, you've got a big 4-straw full of ladies. Kind of fun. So breeding is a rewarding experience. reach out to your fellow members there, you reach out to your friends, see how they've done it, see what tricks of the trade have helped them select males and females. If you're selecting for crowntails, half moons, metallic traits, look at your females. They often carry a lot of those really strong genetic traits that you just don't really see until you can check for your girl out. So hopefully that helps you out, inspires you to maybe do something a little different, have a little fun doing this hobby. It was very nice meeting you all. It's fantastic to talk to another Betta nerd, Betta enthusiast. They've kind of tagged me the Betta lady over here. So this is just a few of our SKUs over here at Segrest Farms. We have several more of them, and this is just our normal stock. I kind of went shopping for you this morning to show off kind of the few things we've got to show you to. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.